What's cracking, big dogs? Back to you again with this week's narrative. Noah, hit that intro. This week's narrative. It's too early to move rookie wide receivers into your top 12 dynasty rankings. A lot of people are worried about, moving too early and, jumping the gun and being too knee-jerk reactions. For me, I'd say I'm actually not. I'm usually probably someone that moves stuff earlier rather than later, especially at the wide receiver position, because what we've seen historically is like when you can perform at really well in an early stage, it really it's a good bet to make that they're going to continue producing down the line, right? So guys like Ceedee Lamb, guys like Justin Jefferson, guys like T. Higgins, all these guys have already moved into my top 15, top 12 dynasty wide receivers. I think Lamb, Jefferson, and Higgins particularly are almost like in my top 10 already, if not already there. If they aren't, they will be moving there soon because it's had another great week with Jefferson and T. Higgins in particular. Like I'm of the belief that you should move them up earlier because then you can be more aggressive. I'm more aggressive in acquiring these types of guys. And, I launched an episode of Market Watch Mondays talking about buying high and how that's good. And one particular spot where I do tend to buy a high is at the wide receiver position when they're young, because, it might seem like a lot now to pay like a first and a second or a couple first for some of these guys, but it won't look like that way a year or two down the line because, I'd say outside of rookie first round picks, the safest investments you can make in dynasty are early producing and young wide receivers because their price skyrockets, as you can see from like DK Metcalf, as you can see from AJ Brown, as you can see from Terry McLaurin. If they produce and stack production on top of production year after year, it's going to be highly, highly difficult to attain them later on.
Yeah, I'm looking at my dynasty rankings right now. What I'll say first before I tell you where I have guys ranked is I'm of the same belief as Mike. If you see these guys producing early and often, move them up. But what I will say is, and I know Scott does this, and I'm not trying to shit on Scott, but I wouldn't be so quick to move guys like Devontae Adams down because they're 27 years old. Like we see Keenan Allen right now produce at 28, and he is my wide receiver 17 in dynasty, which may seem extremely high. But when you realize how long a season is and how much value Keenan Allen is bringing you this year, if you're a contender, there's no reason to value him as a wide receiver 30 type of guy because he's going to bring you production this season. So that's my piece on it. But looking at where I have wide receivers ranked, I have two guys that were rookies last year inside my top four. I have DK at number 1. I have AJ Brown at 4. Sandwiched between them is Devontae and Tyreek. Looking at my top 10, I also have Terry McLaurin in there. And then as for rookies, I have Ceedee Lamb at 8. I have T. Higgins at 12. I have Justin Jefferson at 13. And then I also have Jalen Reagor at 19. So I'm not like Mike. I'm not too afraid. Maybe I'm a little bit lower on those guys than Mike is right now, but I'm not afraid to move these guys up because you realize T. Higgins is 21 years old producing. You realize Ceedee Lamb is 21 years old, not really producing right now, but we know what he is when Dak Prescott is healthy. Same thing with Justin Jefferson, who right now we're watching the Chicago-Minnesota games on, and he's cooking these cornerbacks who are supposed to be elite. If you're late to the party, you're going to miss out on value. And if you can flip, I know Mike talked about it in Market Watch Monday, if you can flip a Devontae Adams for a T. Higgins in a first, or Justin Jefferson in a first, or a CeeDee Lamb in a first, if you're not competing at that point, that's where I would make the move, because by the time these guys are in their absolute prime, by the time T. Higgins is 25, 26, Devontae Adams is going to be 30-something years old, and at that point, it's not really going to help you too much. That first plus T. Higgins are probably going to be two starters on your team. One of them is going to be elite because we know T. Higgins is a great player. So I'm with Mike on this one. It's not that it's never too early to move wide receivers up this fast in your rankings, but if you see them produce week in and week out and have a legitimate role to be the number 1 or the 1A on an offense, like we've seen in Cincinnati, like we see in Washington with Terry McLaurin, or the same thing with all these other guys, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, it's never too early to move them up just because the talent is there. They were picked where they were picked for a reason. If they're producing early, the likelihood of them producing later is pretty high because we know they're talented, and their offense is using them in a way that is indicative of their draft capital and their talent.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I got Tyreek Hill as my wide receiver 1 just because he's with Patrick Mahomes and he's producing like a wide receiver 1. And then behind him, I got DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and I actually have Devontae Adams ahead of CeeDee Lamb, Jefferson. But I would not actually give up CeeDee Lamb to acquire Devontae Adams, especially if I'm a rebuilder team. So I got CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 7, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 8, T. Higgins, wide receiver 9. Like I said, back to back to back. They're all in the same tier for me.
Where do you have MT?
Where do I have MT? I have him at 6 right now.
But I have him 9. I feel like I'm pretty low on him, but at the same time, fuck MT. I don't like him.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna move him back, to be honest, to go behind. But right behind that cluster, you also have like guys like Terry McLaurin and all these guys. And I would not move one for the other. It's just like a really, we always said like a really deep class, right? And that's kind of where we're at today. So look, I mean, it's pretty incredible to be where we're at. I think we're rich with talent at the wide receiver position, and you love to see it, man. You love to see
even
it.
a guy like Chase Claypool, who I know we weren't high on at all, many people weren't. Currently, my wide receiver 26 in Dynasty. He's shown so much, and they have three legitimate wide receivers there, and he's still producing week in and week out. Even Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman showed out really well this past week. We haven't seen too much from Jerry Jeudy, but the quarterback situation's shit. Same with Jalen Reagor. Like, this class is legit, like 10 receivers deep that have potential to be top 20 Dynasty options, which is crazy to think about.
Yep, and there's going to be more coming in. I mean, this 2021 class is also as advertised. It's going to be filled with studs, pretty top heavy with guys like Jamar Chase, Rondale Moore, Rashad Bateman, Seth Williams, freaking my God, De'Ami Brown. Look, the wide receiver group is going to be really good for time to come, and we have to pair them with really, really good young talent at quarterback as well. Like, quarterback is really good, wide receiver is really good. 2019 to 2021 might be the greatest 3-year stretch of wide receiver talent we've seen. No Julio Jones, like no generational stuff, but in terms of depth and just really, really
How about
good
QB
players.
talent too? I mean, the three in this class, Kyler Murray, the next two guys upcoming, and like even Mac Wilson and Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, all these guys, Kyle Trask, like this. I don't know, these Adam Thielen, another touchdown. All these positions, except for running back next year, like everything just is looking up for dynasty.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited. I mean, I love reviewing wide receivers and like ranking them. That's like probably the position I get the most joy out of. So
because that running back after like 18, it's like all these guys they're old or they're like not that good. Wide receiver, I get down to like 50. I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's still guys I want. Like Corey Davis is still down here.
Yep. Adam Thielen's basically a goal line back now, so that's exciting to see, I guess. All right. I mean, that's all we got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, smash both of them. Follow me, follow Noah on Twitter, engage with us, drop comments. Drop comments what you want to see, man. I talk about on Mark Watch Mondays, but if you don't see specific content, some stuff you want us to cover, just drop it in the comments, and we'll have a fulsome schedule coming up, to wrap up the season, but also as we get into the crux of Dynasty, which is the off season, in which case there is no offseason, as you know, when we're playing Dynasty. So exciting times, a lot of content coming your way. Make sure you stay tuned with the channel. That's all we got for you guys.